It's a BumbleKast Mini, sponsored by Missile the Sandcat.
You were compelled by the forces of Sega Sammy to make a comic set in the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog universe, but with a twist! They want versions of Amy, Shadow, Rouge, and Silver included, who are true to the tone of the original show. What are these old favorites like in this wacky slapstick cartoon world?
Oh, boy. All right, so Amy, if we're being true to the era... Amy goes back to being the obnoxiously clingy, hyper-violent, on-a-switch girlfriend for slapsticky comedic value.
Mm-hmm.
Rouge is just straight up a thief.
Breezy 2.0.
Like, no spy angle, just a thief, and she's French for some reason.
Well, she gets to wear a cool beret, that's why.
Silver is nothing but Back to the Future veiled references. Because that was the only major time travel. No, wait. We had Terminator, didn't we?
I mean, yeah, you'd probably have both. Yeah, we did have Terminator, yeah. So it'd probably just be references to both.
Yeah, it'd be nonstop time travel movie references. And probably stuff that I haven't done. Too young to remember.
And Bill and Ted, yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly Back to the Future references.
Sonic and Silver's Excellent Adventure. And Shadow would be like just the straight up accidental evil clone of Sonic, whose entire shtick is just being contrary to anything Sonic does. Like, if Sonic says yes, he will say no. If Sonic laughs, he'll be disgusted by it. And like one episode's entire climax revolves around Sonic figuring out this shtick and purposefully saying things to bait Shadow into getting into trouble. Gee, I guess I won't run off this cliff today. Well, I'll show you. Whoops. And down he goes, Wile E. Coyote style.
Why would I like this, Ian?
Also, this version of Shadow wears rollerblades.
Well, I mean, yeah. How else do you justify the fact that he skates everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he works at a drive-in restaurant.
He still does the same running animation as Sonic because it's cheap, but
yes.
When he's standing, it's rollerblades.
I mean, they literally just take Sonic and color him black. Like, they don't add anything. There's no red or anything in his design. They don't change any of the spine designs or anything. It's literally just Sonic, but colored black.
You're wearing roller skates, so shouldn't you be skating in those? Would you? Yeah? Well then.
Put them on. That'll be the one time they actually animate any roller skating. Oh, that's silly. It's very silly. Next question. We know there's been at least one reference to Team 4-Star in IDW Sonic, so question for both of you. What are your favorite moments from Dragon Ball Z Abridged? I'm trying to remember specifics because I think I was laughing too hard to remember any.
I'm trying to limit myself. Like, all of Season 3? Like, Season 3, I feel like, is where they really meshed. Where they, like, not to throw the first two seasons under the bus. They were certainly good. But Season 3 is where I feel like they found their voice as a studio and took what was already arguably the best arc in Z and hit the highest of highs and the funniest punchlines and made the most of the lore that had trickled out since then. Like, their interpretations of Cell, all the forms were fantastic. Their camaraderie between the androids, I feel like, was arguably better than the base show.
I mean, the androids were great, yeah.
Tin Shinhan's last big stand is still one of the most hype moments out there, period. And part of that's because it's got Shadow of the Colossus music behind it, which would make anything hype. But I mean, it's how they put it all together. And I've probably watched the Broly movie so many times now, I can quote it start to finish.
Yeah. I should go back and watch it again because I didn't. I think I was just laughing too hard the whole time. Like I probably missed so much.
It's become kind of an ingrained joke here in the house where if, my wife or I says something that's, whoops, we were wrong about something, the other will look at him and go, "You lied to me, Princess Trunks."
Good stuff. It's very good though. Yeah. I couldn't. We were just like dying. At least I was.
You refreshed it because we had already watched it enough times. We knew most of the jokes by heart, but to have somebody else experience for the first time and your laughter is already kind of infectious, but for you to be caught off guard by this stuff fresh just made it even funnier again.
Well, I was like, I mean, I wasn't even familiar with the original DBZ, really. I've not really watched it, but I mean, it was still hilarious even then. It's like, I know all these tropes. I know exactly what they're talking about, even though I've never seen DBZ. It's like, yeah. Good old Princess Trunks. Time for a Boom episode. In another attempt to get the task to turn Shadow on his side, Eggman somehow accidentally rewrites his personality into that of Hawaiian shirt Shadow of internet rumor infamy. How does the rest of the episode go?
Oh, Surfer Shadow is everybody's best friend.
Surfer Shadow is my favorite Shadow.
He is like the coolest kahuna. Everyone gets along with him. He has a fun and wholesome rivalry with Sonic and Knuckles. He's like taking over the kitchen at Mad Burger and actually putting out edible food. He's got like these zen-like moments of clarity for Tails. He totally believes whatever it is that Styx is tracking through the woods. Yo, snipe hunt? All right, I'll go hunt that snipe with you. Shaw. And, Eggman was trying to rewrite him to be a more, aggressive ally on his side, but no. It's completely fallen apart. Well, I'm just going to have to attack them myself. And then, Shadow decides to get in the way of whatever the ray is to save everybody. He just, mid-leap, everyone's going, no, in slow motion. And as he leaps in front of the ray, he just kind of half turns back and throws up the horns and it's like, aloha. And then gets zapped and turned back to regular Shadow.
No, I don't want regular Shadow. I haven't wanted that guy since 2003. Come back, Surfer Shadow.
This is what you wanted, wasn't it, Maria?
No.
A chance for everyone to be gnarly.
Oh, God. I wish it were real. All right, let's move on. Lots of Sonic fans would love to pet one of the Hedgies, and let's assume one of the hedgehogs lets someone do just that. How likely would it be that person accidentally stabs themselves on the quills trying to give a head pat?
I imagine that their hair in their quills in a resting state is more like hair, that it's, not necessarily prickly.
Largely not.
It's more of a it's more of a concentrated effort. Like when Sonic does a spin dash, he's like tightening up every muscle so much that the quills become pointy, I guess.
Maybe. Yeah. Who has the softest quills? It's probably Silver, maybe.
Silver or Amy.
Yeah.
I mean, Amy definitely has great personal maintenance, but Silver is a very fluffy boy.
Yeah. Either one. So, back in 2005, when Shadow was interviewed by OneUp.com, he talked about how he loves skateboarding and hanging out with his friends in his spare time. So, assuming he's combining these two activities, who are Shadow's skateboarding buddies? This is a very early 2000s interview.
Yeah. We'll have to include this link for folks who don't know because Whew, the branding on this is something special.
Yep.
But he's absolutely hanging out with his best buddies Sonic, and was Jet even around at that point? You know, we're gonna say Jet's a thing at this point. Jet retroactively is.
Yeah, these are basically like, what did the kids of the early 2000s like? He's got, I know Shadows, of course, got his Razr phone and his iPod. Oh, boy. And Shadow's favorite food, Hot Pockets. I knew it. Oh, man. I'm being asked, wasn't it the Nokia 3210 back then? No, the Motorola Razr, I think, would have been the big phone in the early 2000s. So, yeah. I mean, it could have gone either way, but Razr sounds cooler.
Just for those of you who don't want to click the link, here's a sample right here. Shadow, what is your favorite video game? Madden's football series, anything with street fighting, and Burnout 3.
I mean, I like Burnout 3.
Shadow, what gadgets do you own? PSP, Nintendo DS, iPod, and a Razr cell phone. I'm one hooked up hedgehog.
I knew that about him.
And because you already referenced it, Shadow, what's your take on food? Pizza, Doritos, Snickers, anything mobile. Also, big fan of Hot Pockets.
Shadow, what do you think about Mountain Dew?
It's the quenchiest.
And the scary thing is that it says on top, we went directly to Shadow, the character, with answers coming from the creators at Sonic Team.
Knocked on the door to his trailer and everything.
Oh, man. What flavor of Mountain Dew? I mean, it's Code Red, obviously. The most edgiest of Mountain Dew flavors. This is absolute.
I want a drink that fights back.
I mean, I like Code Red, but yeah, it's definitely edgy. Oh, I'm just surprised Shadow doesn't have an N gauge. Maybe he does. He's just embarrassed. He's just embarrassed to say so. Wow. This is 100% canon. I approve. All right, next question. In that same interview, Shadow also declares his love for action movies, specifically the Terminator series, and calls Arnold so cool and exclaims, "Hasta la vista, baby." Looking back on Shadow's career, what moments do you two think would be improved if he let out a cheesy Arnie-style one-liner, and what quips would he deploy? I mean, he kind of does that in Sonic Adventure 2 sometimes.
A little bit. It could be more.
It could be so much more, though, yes. I would like him more if he were, I guess, more of a joke. Like, I know that's mean, I guess, but...
like he's rescuing Rouge from the vault before it explodes. Time for your last withdrawal.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, I still like...
I'm trying to think of something...
I'm the coolest is one of the goofiest one-liners he spits out.
And really, there is no topping him beating the Bio-Lizard and is like, "Get out of here, you ugly prototype." Like, come on. And when he confronts Sonic and Heroes, and Sonic's like, "We have a date with Eggman too." "Well, it'll be a date to die for."
I mean, that's
dead on, man.
That's perfect. Yes,
that's great. It's only like, I guess, his game onward where it gets dropped.
He gets super serious Super cereal. No.
I mean, he has to beat Black Doom and just kind of go, huh, you're Black Doomed. Now he starts stomping on Doom's eye. Careful, I'll put your eye out.
Let off some steam, Eggman.
Egg breaker, don't mind if I do.
Mm-hmm. Imagine Shadow having a quippy one-liner about every boss name. Like every time it shows up on screen.
Oh, what could have been?
I need Shadow to be the fourth wall-breaking character. That would be way funnier than what he is now, which is not funny at all. Oy. All right. Last question about the Shadow interview. Shadow says he likes pizza, but specifically what style of pizza does he like? Favorite toppings? Will he settle for cheap, greasy chain delivery, or does he insist on getting a proper Empire City slice? Does he have strong opinions on deep dish?
If we're talking about circa this interview, it's like whatever the promotional pizza
Totino's
Pizza Hut at the time.
Totino's
All right,
pizza
Totino's.
rolls. I mean, that applies either back in early 2000s or in 2016. Good old mania.
Nowadays, yeah, it has to be like this exact particular slice from this one artisanal shop in Empire City. Anything else won't fly. No good. And deep dish, I'm on the fence. Either he will lecture you for an hour about what regions do deep dish correctly, or he doesn't care. Whichever is more pretentious, I can't decide.
I mean, I personally love deep dish, so but I'm that guy.
I haven't enjoyed it when I've had it, except for like one place, the way they did it. I was like, oh, this is why people like it. Oh, okay. But
yeah, I know why most
me.
people don't like it, but I mean, I like a little pizza with my cake, so it's good for me. Let's hear about two of the most eccentric inhabitants of the No Zone, Zilver and Styx. What are these two like, and what work are they involved in with the Zone Cops?
Styx is like man tracker. She's the one hunting down people out in the brush, where no Zone Cop would normally go, except she exclusively hunts like the cryptids of the multiverse. And you're not really even sure if they're real or if they even did anything wrong, but that also kind of keeps her out of trouble. So, all right, let her do her thing. Zilver is the poor, exhausted solo member of the Future Corps trying to stop all the time-space shenanigans. And they don't. Just the very nature of the No Zone Cops is tearing apart space-time. It's like, please stop. I haven't slept in relative days. Why? What happens in the future? All of it happens. Please stop. Everybody just stop and let me take a nap.
Stop doing anything. You're causing the future to happen. Stop. I'm being told that Styx has locked up Bigfoot, which is why Styx, regular Styx, can't find him. Dang it. Is foiled by her alternate universe counterpart again.
And when she explains this to everybody, that she's not crazy, it's her alternate counterpart from a perpendicular dimension who kidnapped Bigfoot. That's why she can't find him. They're like, oh, it sticks, honey. That's extra spicy conspiracy there. You need to take a break. Do you want to talk? Do you want some deep dish?
Perpendicular universe. I like it. No copyright law in the universe is going to stop Scourge. Maybe not exactly. Regardless, that green trash bag has claimed an already existing piece of music as his official theme song. Which tune does he choose?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter in minor key.
Actually, that sounds kind of cool now I'm thinking about it.
I know it does.
Like, I went through a few songs as like, this isn't quite right. And the one that was like dead on is like, no, this sounds better for like a Surge and Sonic team up song. Dang it. But like, I don't know. I am not musically educated enough. So I'm kind of like scrambling, but I don't know.
I already gave you my
I have no good answer. And you know what? It's such a good answer. I ain't going to even challenge it.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad you like it. I thought it was kind of goofy. Then again, maybe that's why you like it. I don't know. Here's another question about that nasty, stinky goblin of a hedgehog. We know that the broad Lost Hedgehog Tale plan was for Scourge to somehow get even worse. But how would you write his face turn if you had to? Face turn being used broadly here. We're not expecting this guy to become squeaky clean. This was brought up on the October 22nd, 2022 episode, but the answer focused on the actual plans for Scourge and didn't really touch on how an outright turn away from villainy would play out. If this is still deemed too similar and the answer is just broadly it wouldn't work, feel free to skip.
Part of me would say, the whole point of Scourge is he is irredeemable, that he is his own worst enemy, that he is trapped in his own meta existence. But that's not as fun an answer. So since I guess I'm in a charitable state of mind, we'll just say, what if, forget about everything else. What if we're going to have him do a face turn? I think it would be a moment where he finally just cracks and realizes everything that I just said, that he is his own worst enemy, that he is trapped in this kind of karmic meta state of always being the antithesis to Sonic, and that everything he has done in an attempt to establish himself as different has just played into the bit. He has done nothing but dig himself deeper. And so he gives up. He realizes that he can't be a better Sonic or an evil Sonic. So forget it. He's just going to be him. And he'll do what he wants. And he kind of maybe a little overcourse corrects, where if he wants to do something vile, he's like, no, that's what the old me would do. I'm going to do something heroic just to spite myself. And then he would more or less turn into a more personable Shadow.
Maybe.
A guy not afraid of doing, nasty work, but for the greater good. And with the one-liners.
Well, I don't know how I feel about that, because he's pretty gross. Like, I don't know if I would trust any redemption of Scourge.
I mean, put it this way, he would push Renfield T. Rodent into a giant juicer and go, "That's a nice suit." Turns it on. Excellent drip.
Well, I mean, Renfield T. Rodent, also not a character I would trust, and I mean, I'd be like, yeah. I wouldn't mind that. Can we have heroic Scourge? No, we have heroic Scourge at home. Meanwhile, heroic Scourge at home is Shadow. So, Boom Scourge. Since two alternates can inhabit the same dimension at the same time in the Boom continuity, we'll assume he has to go with a different origin than Evil Double from another universe.
No, he can just come from Steve's universe. They're totally cool with each other.
Good old Steve, a.k.a. Morpho. Steve Morpho. Steve Morpho Eggman.
Boom Scourge shows up to cause trouble and, comes across Steve, and they're like, "Oh, hey, where you been?" "Oh, I just came over here, hanging out with a bro now." "You have a bro?" "Oh, it's an interdimensional thing." "Oh, yeah, that's cool. All right." maybe I should try that for myself, and starts trying to hang out with Sonic and is just extremely awkward and awful about everything.
Why does he also
and then
sound
decides
like...
that everybody...
Why does he also sound like Surfer Dude's Shadow?
Was that what Steve kind of sounded like? I can't remember.
Okay, Steve did. Yeah, okay. I meant...
Yeah.
I thought you were talking Scourge.
And then boom, Scourge decides everybody here is lame and stupid, so he just goes back to his home dimension.
I have to go. My planet needs me.
And that way he can pop up whenever he wants to. He's like, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go egg that other dimension.
Silly. And we got one last question. Finally, nebulous circumstances have forced Sonic and Scourge to somehow, hopefully only temporarily, fuse into a single hedgehog to take on some massive threat. So considering their personalities are both similar and contrasting, what is this fusion's personality like? How do various characters close to both Sonic and Scourge react to / interact with this spiny super being?
Okay, before we get to anything about the character, what would the name even be?
Sonerge?
Skonic?
Skonic. It's delicious. He's a delicious scone-ick.
I prefer Skonic because then I just imagine it's the most aggressive ska music you've ever heard.
Yes.
Like they invent the entire subgenre of music. It's angry ska.
Sure.
Unhappy punk ska. There you go. Skonic.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel dirty for saying that out loud. Anyway.
Ew.
I guess it would be the baseline Sonic personality, the ego, the swagger, the confidence, with just a little bit of edge. Like Sonic in general is not really mean-spirited when
not
fighting
anymore.
someone.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. and never really to Scourge's level.
No.
So this would be like Sonic the Comic early 90s level of pissiness. Like saying actual hurtful things during a fight. But they're still kind of funny. He's not going to kill anybody, but you would have to prompt him to maybe bring them off the edge of the cliff instead of just laugh at them as they dangle for their lives. So a bit of a jerk, but also kind of cool. And you can't help but go, all right, that was kind of neat, but you could maybe tone it down, the attitude, by just a smidge there, buddy. The Sonic side of everything's going to be like, at least Sonic's personality is in some degree of control. We don't like this, but it could be worse. And everyone on Scourge's side of it is like, oh God, I hope he stays that way. Please don't unfuse. It's so much better like this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hate you regardless. Just stay that way. You're slightly more palatable.
Mm. Yeah, weird color combos. Off-putting, though. Like, what does blue-green mix into? It becomes yellow, right?
Teal. Or just go with the base blue with obnoxiously bright green streaks.
Okay. Actually, that would be kind of cool. Yeah.
That or the base green with the blue markings. That might be harder on the eyes. I don't know.
Okay, the blue-green mixture's not so bad. I thought it would be bad, but no, it's not so bad, I guess. It's more cyan, yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of this BumbleKast Mini.
Thank you to Mrs. Sandcat for sponsoring it. If you want one of your own, head over to patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.